What is up, YouTube? It's BBGamer05 back with another Fortnite video discussing yet another location that I'd say is very underrated. It is Sleepy Sound, and I'll get into why I think it's underrated in a minute. But let me just take a second to admire this place. If it wasn't so far north, it would be the perfect location. I think it could have been a great drop spot, more so than it is already, if it was just more so, I don't know where they would put it really, but just somewhere that isn't this far north. Like, it's on the northern edge of the map, so it makes it a not so great for dropping here. Um, it has a lot of loot though, from my experience, and it's very fun to just go around. And this little divide here makes playing very interesting. Say you're here and somebody's over here shooting at you. The storm's coming this way. It makes gameplay very interesting and sometimes frustrating, but that's besides the point. I think it's very fun dropping here. So yeah, let's get into it. So you can see here the motel with a little pool here. Very similar to just something you'd see in real life, honestly. This is probably the most realistic location you can get in Fortnite, really. I mean, it's like a little small town you'd stop by just on a trip or something like that. But yeah, the motel has a fair bit of loot, I'd say. It has two floors with the rooms, several rooms going across it. Lots of loot. I find quite a few chests personally, but you can find stuff on the roof. I say stuff. You can find one chest on the roof. A lot of the loot on the inside can just be found like on the inside, like I just said, but there's the chest here. I think, yeah, there's a chest over in the pool. But yeah, quite a bit of loot here alone. This is a very popular spot for drops at this location specifically. I see a lot of people try and drop here and fight over the loot that they find here, like the ground loot and stuff, and I personally drop at Noms or Jules. It's just two great locations. Oh yeah, and there's also Big Shots here, which I forgot had its own little name. But yeah, I drop here more often than not whenever I drop at Sleepy Sound. I mean, it doesn't have a whole lot of loot inside of it, but it has good ground loot a lot of the time. This store, the Nom store, is very similar to Retail Row. It gives me that same vibe, which is why I like it. It doesn't have loot really, but I drop here because of just the aesthetic. The Retail Row type feel of it. Even with this semi in the back. I think there's usually like a full-on semi-truck here, but I don't think the vehicles spawn in replay mode. But yeah, the chest in the back here. But this part feels very much like a little like a mini Retail Row, which is why I like it so much. They have Joel's, I mean, they have Big Shots, Noms. It's like a mini Retail Row just thrown in here. And the reboot van right here too, which honestly, I love the new design of reboot vans. It's not too different, like you can still recognize what it is, but it's just different enough. It has that the vibe that the 7 made it, which is what I like. I like the 7 reboot vans quite a bit. Moving on to the gas station and the little auto shop here. I don't really drop here. I see more people get killed here because they drop here with no loot here, really, besides this occasional chest spawn. Yeah, it's more so just a death wish, I'd say, to drop here than anything, because they have the big door that you can just shoot into. I mean, if you don't find any ground loot in there or up here, then there's the one chest that can spawn in here, and whatever ground loot spawns in here. There's not a lot here in the gas station area, but it's there if you wanted to drop there for some reason. I find it interesting that Fish Stick's location is here when it was also the northern location in Chapter 2. I forgot what that location's name was because it was Craggy Cliffs, I think it was. But yeah, I find it strange that Fish Stick's location is here too when it's the most northern location. Kind of funny. It's much smaller, I believe, than the Chapter 2 variant, but it has the small little dining area with a kitchen here, which is a very nice kitchen. I like this kitchen a lot. You can get the little consumable items here. You can get these little slurp barrels. Going in here is the bathroom area with no chest really. The one chest here, and there's not a lot of loot here. You're gonna find mostly ground loot, if anything, which is why I don't really drop here either. I see people fighting over this too, which I don't get because it doesn't have a lot of stuff here for you. Yeah, I see a lot of fighting happening here though. It's good for hiding, I guess, if you go to the top part of it, like right around here. It's a good hiding spot, but overall not a great location to drop at. If you're gonna drop anywhere, I recommend dropping over here at Nom's or Joel's. It's a good spot. I just like it. And we have the houses back here too, which I feel like, I don't know, it gives me a certain vibe that I can't really describe. It feels like a location that I've seen before, but I don't know what it was that where I would have seen this at, but has several houses. I'm not going to go through each one, but each one does have at least one chest in it, so yeah, you can kind of just decide. They're all different enough, so you can kind of just decide which one you like the best and drop at it. I don't think there's really much of a difference in terms of loot that it gives you. You're going to find the chest quite often in the attic of each one of these, if they have one, unlike this house here. I don't see why people would have these skylights without glass here, though, because that's just how you get rain in your bed. Like, right there. But yeah, a lot of the chests are going to be in the attic, I've noticed, for any house, really, in this game. A lot of the stuff's in the attic, which I get is a good place to hide your chests or whatever, but yeah, I think it kind of reminds me of Salty Springs in the way that it was just a bunch of houses crammed together into one spot. It's like a mix of Salty Springs and Retail Row in a way, because you have your stores over here and then the houses over here, and maybe with a mix of Sweaty Sands too, just because of how it kind of, I don't know, how it has the shore right over here. Kind of has that same vibe too. It's just a mix of everything, really. But yeah, lots of chests here. I wouldn't say it's the best drop in the game, but it's definitely a good one. It's a little too far north for me to drop here every match. I drop here very rarely just because I don't want to have to run from the storm the whole time. There is the occasional close, or if not even close, there's the occasional storm where you don't have to run because it's just in the zone. But yeah, that is about all I wanted to say. Great spot. Personal fan of Joel's and Nom's and Big Shots over here, but that's just because it has that same Retail Row vibe. But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say for this this location. So yeah, if you guys want to see more, I have a couple other videos going over Logjam Lumberyard and Shifty Shaft. I'm kind of just going in order of the locations from like top to bottom. So I'll probably cover the Bugle next. So if you guys... Oh, before I go, I forgot to mention Lockie's Lighthouse, or whatever it's called now. It's about the same as it was in Chapter 2. I think it's actually smaller. Maybe that's just me, though. But yeah, that's about all. But I'm going to do some more videos covering other locations, because I like doing this. This is actually very fun. I get to go more in depth on what I like about these locations. Give my opinions on them. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on these locations as we go through them. This will be a series, as you could probably tell by me covering all of them as much as I have. So, yeah, that's about all. Thank you guys for watching.